Yeah. Kanshi Dhamma Uda Meje Sangye Nira Nam Sangye Nene Mado Dojere Jime Dawe Lamden Ma Kende Dorje Chona Dunga Nyogo Jede Je Nazo Dade Gigoro Tezon Tiwa Jigde De Loende Kanshi Meme Yeme Maye Yeme Le Jendo Dawara Mine Ngede Donde Zozo Rangi Rishi Time Yeje Vedra Nande Miwa Gunlo Jaba Dan Rabri Namara Jamde Damje Nima De Loinde Semde Ranje Vezel Venong Nyamong Mede Be Gando Doge Dame Daje Yando Done Damje Tobe Sangye Jejo Zigwa Dima Mebe Longa Wo Sengje Namda Taye Yuje She Zenga De Loinde Chamje Meye Shedan Beshe De Yeshe Vige Mare Mimba De Chege Jeda Dove Gwenjurame Kade Shoba De Loi Chade No Tera Gundo Deje Danyele Tabge Dame Chage Yonzone Chanjo Nimbe Lamge Karma Ba Meche De Meche Zondo Ome Chege Yenge Porondo De So Sanje Genge Ngon Razem Chegoro Ngonsa Dende Ba Tawe Lame Shabla Gujande Tazo Doe Lona Chelai Yaran Luje Genge Shinone Namga Le Nyanyege Namga Luje Genge Shinone Jadan Sere Damje Namga Le Jan Chege Da Jinme Cheba Jan Juro Ji Da Tangmala Tashi Delek Shue Dan Chabjik Do Tene Semjen Tamjege Dundo Zogwe Sangye Gobang Togo Yu De Chelo Che Nyinge Yu Nyambe Samba Jachewa Changjo Semge Gunongon Dan Ne Senroji Shue
Prashidele, everyone. Please listen to Dharma with the vast motivation of bodhicitta, thinking that I would like to achieve the perfect Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings.
Ta kan shebar jawi chune ta chesa chama kumbe shangana sombe chula me tenje tela ta topja kanjong sumdan topje neshi la sheba ni yubi nane tangbo kondo sone ni ba topje neshi na nane ene shiba ta Trinley Sangye ge Trinley shebi ge gauso baba tele deyang ta kashi kondo sone ta daring Drugba Chele Kebardo Pakwa Sind. Da Sangye Ge Trinley Da Kazang Gongdo Tene Nimal nima dang pe tsungbar che ne shebare. Da dhani dharon nima pe nima le jang de ne lakba tenbegi kanso da shekyo re. Pe le debar tenba chele kebar do pakba la ni pe le debar tenba dang chele ki kebar ngoy so da pe le debar tenba dang. Shingun namke tildo nima la me la mishe mengap sheje denden bayang min tukje danye nasok toke we toki selwa dangne dola sheje denden ze che songde 다 가장 니마당 충벌 빼간데 되버려 쉐버려나 되네 berna 니마디 되네 샤르위게 가서 당버 리톰벌라 샤르 되네 리 바발라 샤르 되네 리 총총 타말라 되네 샤르게 데나젠 상제게 제바 트린레양 되네 당버 둘저 럽 되네 둘저 딩버 되네 둘저 타말라 되네 주기를 세는 배티 시바래 다 배례 장도롱 학바드네 상제라 상제게 틀레라 되네 개발 첨보유 저 가래유세나 촉주 신근기 남기 텔차베 외서로 또위 뉴바 니말라 멜라세 다 니말라 링시 잠직이 다 공도 전부 링시 잠직 찹토바마도 되네 촉주 신관 탐절라 찹토비긴 뉴바메 되도 자체와기 왕도제나 니말라 멜라 미셰비 민베 로미카비 토와라 셰지 된된바야 니말라 여바 마임베체르 데나신 니메 지르담 멤바셀라기 뉴바 요레데 이나양 둘제게 로 마릭비 멤바셀라기 뉴바 니말라 요레베스나 요 마레 데술라 요레스나 상제기 틴레라 요바리 데나 예메 민베체르 톡제 쳔베 다니 족베 상제 택바 숨기 담제 나속 된비 도케웨 외기 되네 링시 잠마이 뭐 촉주를 게 되네 찹토바당 대양 촉주기 도와 탐제기 마리귀기 민바셀와 다우니 도와 남라 시지 된된바를 제바 마리비 멤버스네 시지 된된바를 제바 제르위 님이 독제 세르니 니마당 배된도 자량 배델레 신도 대바오 세사 촉삼직 때문에 가장 공도 니마당 배자와 이나양 지당제나 벨레당 되는 신도네 대바 신도네 학바 신도네 연된 돕니바 자체와레 송.
The Dharma teaching that I'm giving is on Uttaratantra Shastra that was composed by the Maitreya Buddha, and it is a very vast subject. It has many topics and headings, different headings, and most of them have already been done. Now I am on the fourth, which is the Buddha activity. And we have been talking about many examples or simile, how the Buddha performed his activity without any conceptual thought. And one of the examples that was used was sun. So even we have used the sun as an example of how the Buddha's activity function, but somehow there is no way that sun can be identical. It just can represent a partial, because there is no way that it can represent all the Buddha's activities. For example, the root text, it has actually the special excellence of its function. This particular heading is called the special excellence of its function, but it has two subdivisions. Pele departemba, which means presentation in terms of being beyond example. So there's ultimately there is no example that can represent the Buddha's activity. So the first one is called presentation in terms of being beyond the examples. And second, the depiction of its specific function. And first one, the root text says, the sun does not radiate to the depth of space in every field, nor it can show the meaning of knowable to those confined to the darkness of unknowing. Knowable is the translation used here for sheja in Tibetan, which basically means the phenomena. So ultimate meaning of the phenomena here, which means the meaning of the knowable, it means the ultimate. So sun even appear. So the sun even can illuminate some darkness of the world. For example, it can, like when it appears in the sky, it can illuminate darkness of the 4 continents, but it cannot illuminate the darkness of all 10 directions. And also, moreover, it cannot illuminate the darkness of the people's mind, which is ignorance. So there is no example that can actually exemplify the Buddha's activity. Appearing in clarity through the multitude of light, emitting various colors, those of compassionate. So this is the Buddha. Those of compassionate means the Buddha. In Tibetan it's called Tuje Dangni, embodiment of compassion. And that is another name of Buddha. So, appearing in clarity through a multitude of light, emitting various colors, those of compassionate nature, shows the meaning of knowable to beings. This is the root text, one translation, and there is another way of translating it. Maybe it might, because it is very difficult to understand even in Tibetan itself. So I'm using many different translations in hope of that it may make some sense to you guys who are listening. Okay, so another way of translating it would also be: the sun cannot radiate to the depths of space of every realm. Nor show the knowables. This is phenomena again, meaning or the meaning of the phenomena to those obscure in dark ignorance. The one whose identity is compassion. This is the Tukje translation, another translation, Tukje Dani, which I usually translate like embodiment of compassion. Embodiment of compassion, Tukje Dani. But some people also said the one whose identity is compassion. Shows, anyway, this means Buddha. Shows beings, the sentient being, the significance of the knowable clarity. Again, knowable. We use this to knowable, because in Tibetan the word is sheja. So it is same as the phenomena. So which means the ultimate meaning of the phenomena. When I say the meaning of knowable, I'm trying to be close to the Tibetan word. Tibetan also have many words for same topics. Sheja, chö, chö tamje or chö sheja. So anyway, this through spectrums of radiant multiple colors. Okay, this is the translation of the root text by Maitreya Nath Buddha. Now let's do with the commentary by the Jamgon Lotto Thai. He says, the sun does not have the ability to send out light rays, because we have been using the sun, how Buddha perform his activity without any ideation or without any conceptual thought, to all being without any exception. And just like a sun, we have been using saying like a sun, because sun, when the sun radiates lights, it doesn't have the sun. I should not say he, right? I should say it. It doesn't have any thought saying I'm going to give my light to this part of the world and I'm not going to give. He doesn't have any this kind of thought. We have been using that, but actually now what we are saying is the trophic for this. because the topic is presentation in terms of being beyond the example. So actually, the Buddha's activity surpassed the example. Even because there's no other way that we can use any better example than sun we use, but somehow there's no identicals. That's what it is saying in this subject. So the commentary said the sun does not have the ability to send out light rays pervading the depths of space of every field in the 10 directions. So which means when sun comes in the sky, it has the ability to light only the 4 continents, Lingxi, but not all 10 directions. It also does not show the meaning of knowable to beings whose eyes of understanding are shut through the darkness of unknowing or darkness of ignorance. So of course, sun doesn't have any power to dispel the darkness of people's mind. So that's what it says. Perfect Buddha, Dzogchen Sangye, whose nature is great compassion. Again, same. The perfect Buddha, the very embodiment of compassion, are clearly apparent in the 10 directions. Their light emitting the various colors of 3 vehicles, sacred Dharma teachings, or you can say the sacred Dharma teachings of Triyanas, or 3 vehicles. In doing so, they show that the Buddha showed the meaning of the phenomena or knowable to all sentient beings. For this reason, although the sun and the light rays of compassion radiating from the victorious sun are linked in terms of example and meaning, but the latter are totally beyond this example. So it means the way how Buddha performed his activity is totally beyond this example of sun. That's all.
다 벨레 대바 마세 니바 젤레기 코니다 개발도 박와 된반 상제 정도 셰트 미당 미된 바이 개오남 통신 된매 속들 된데 통화 레내용화당 티모기동 시비 초롱 따위 민베 디바남 상제 님의 외계 로낭 마통와의 내통주를 제송네 상제 둘제 정도 색비체 다 둘제 내당된 바남기 강도 예비 정도 색비체 미당 미덴비 교 롱와 남기 상제 페바당 미카체네데네 롱와데저기 속통계열에 semjen mi la yamba nawe da mite ba de yena yang dane sangje ge dulja ne dang de ma de so sangje phe ba dang nawe ge den wamba de ge den da mbege ne de sang ne da the ge yo the bar ju ge yo re sen da the ba sok 토리기 녀워체 셀와당 다 토리기 류된라 유비 체와 네바 탐제 셀와당 된 대화 메비 겐송남 동엘기 촉당 될네 대위 된대 통화 대돌라 께발레네 대화 용화당 되네 라라 되네 강조 ngenson ge ne na yebe dunju ge semjen la so ba na yang sangje pheba dang sangje jelwa dang de de ge ne le thar ne de thori ge de la thop ge yore thori ge de ne thop ge yore de wa nyong dang de do thori ge yen den dang de nyang timugi 동신 시비 서로 동네 롱네 양 semjen la then Gensung ne to ke yo mare de Tori Ladang Migi Kobangla Keba ke yo bare. Ge yoba yina yang Timugi Longwa to Chane. That Sherabgi Mig Meba, Sherabgi Timuk Kitibe, Sherabgi Mig Long ne, Sibi Jamdo Long ne. Tawa Ngenbi Mimbe Tiba, Zeta Tawa Nga, Yoro, Chikta, Tarda, Lokta, Chikta, Dogta, Lokta, Tarda. Tushuk Choking Tawa, Tawa Nga, Lasobe, Deepne, Tawa Ngimbe, Mimbe, Tibanam, La Sangye, Tokje, Nime, Wegi, Lord Nangwar Jene, Lord Sherab Nangwar Jene, then Tawa Lasobe, Member Tamje, Selne, Sibi Tole, Tende. Timugi membasne ngar matongwe ne luk deshing beden dekona ni tongwar jurwe na jelegi kone chang dene nim pele sangji gi tineti kebordo pabare
Eta. The second, depiction of its specific function. When a Buddha goes to the city of disciples, people without eyes become sighted, which means people who has no eyes can see. The blind people also can see. Being freed from all meaningless things, they see the meaningful and experience happiness. Sangye zhongzu shekse mikda mideba kyo tongshi dunme sochal dunde tongwa lana nyongwa timu gidong. When blinded by delusion or ignorance, they fall into existence sea, which is we usually say samsara, ocean of samsara, or bhavasagara in Sanskrit. So in Tibetan also have different word for the ocean of samsara. So Tibetan word here it use sibitso. That is why in English we use the existence sea or the ocean of existence instead of saying ocean of samsara. If in Tibetan it's korvetso, then we can say the samsara of ocean of samsara. So it means the same thing, and are wrapped in the darkness of views. So there mainly we have 5 wrong views, which are such as like view of nihilism and view of permanent and so forth. So these are what it means here. The light of the Buddha's sun illumines or illuminates their vision, and they see the very point they never saw before. Okay, this is actually the translation of the root text, and another translation could be, when the Buddha goes to the cities, the eyeless see. They experience through that seeing the meaningful, free from the various facets of the unbeneficial. The intelligence illuminated by the light of the Buddha's sun, those blinded by ignorance, fallen into the ocean of existence and veiled by opinion's darkness, see the essence they had not seen. The translation of the root text. Now the Jamgu Khantu says, when a Buddha goes to the city of disciples, Nyerse in Tibetan, you say nyerse. Usually nyerse is something that harms actually, but one translation says impairments causing harm. So I'm just using that because I'm not really English speaker. I don't know what that actually means, but I think it's better to say that. So when a Buddha goes to the city of the disciple, the impairments causing harm. If you know Tibetan, this is the translation of nyerse. Okay. To the higher state of existence are cleared away. Anyway, what it means is when Buddha goes to the city of disciple, all things that is harmful to Tori nyerse means something that is disturbance or harmful to the beings of the higher realms. Clear away. And blind people who have no eyes become sighted and see the visibles. Visibles in Tibetan is a zuk, so usually it's translated as a form. So form, I think visible is same. Because the form, usually this form has only two things, colors and shape. That's the thing only we can see by the eye. So this is what it means in form, or zung in Tibetan. And the another translation says visible. I'm just trying to build up my vocabulary here. Okay, I usually use just form, but I'm also using the term that other people use for this word. So visible, a form. I suppose they're same. Okay, the deaf hear sound, and so on. So actually, being blind or being deaf are the nyerse of the Tori. So these are clear away when Buddha, that's what it means. So impairments causing harm to the higher state of existence are clear away, is what it means. When Buddha goes to the cities, even the blind people can have sight and they can see. Even the deaf people can hear sound and so on. They free themselves from the multitude of suffering of the lower rims. That's why I usually just use lower rims, Ngensong in Tibetan. But one translation say evil wanderings. I think that's quite good translation because Tibetan say Ngensong. So song is went and Ngenpa is evil. So it's evil wanderings. What it means is lower rims. Okay. So they free means those beings, they free themselves from the multitude suffering of evil wanderings or lower rims. Because in the lower rim there are so many suffering, so they free themselves from them, which are meaningless in that they are without any happiness. They see what is meaningful and will lead to happiness. Once established in the delightful wanderings, this is higher rims, okay? They use this one. Dedo in Tibetan, there. I mean, according to Tibetan word, that makes sense. That's why I'm using. There is something good or comfortable. And draw is beings, or literally it means going or wandering. So one translation uses delightful wanderings. But usually we say higher rims, the beings of the higher rims. That is easier to understand. So anyway, once established in the delightful wanderings or higher rims, or Dedo in Tibetan, they experience happiness and well-beings. Of course, if you are born in the higher rim, then you experience happiness and well-being. Then there are those who possess the quality of higher state of existence of the delightful wanderings or higher rims, but who are blinded by ignorance. So they have no eyes of the wisdom. Here, what it means blinded by ignorance and have fallen into the ocean of existence. Because even you are born in the higher realm, you are still in samsara, in the existence. Like for example, human realms or asura realms or deva realms, these are considered to be higher realms. According to this translation, these are the delightful wanderings. Okay, but still you are in samsara and you are blind with the ignorance. by ignorance, you are blind of wisdom eye by the ignorance, and fallen into the ocean of existence, or Bhava Sakara. If you want to know Sanskrit word for this, ocean of existence is Bhava Sakara or Sibitso in Tibetan. Because I also know many people who are listening can read Tibetan. That's why I'm using the Tibetan words to make you more option to understand. Because this is American, we need to have more options. Or Bhava Sakara or oceans. So in consequence, they are wrapped in the darkness of inferior views, which means since they are blinded with ignorance and have with no wisdom eyes, they don't know which is the right view and which is not, which is wrong view, and they always fall into the wrong view. That's what is wrapped in the darkness of inferior views or bad views or wrong views, or wrapped. In those beings, the sunlight of the Buddha's compassion illuminates insight and understanding. Okay. So, illuminates insight and understanding. They expel the ocean of existence and clear away the darkness of delusion, whereupon they see. I usually use suchness for this word. In Tibetan we call dekona ni. Or in Sanskrit, if you want to know tattva, we say tattva. But one translation use thatness, that, and it just make nouns, N-E-S-S, thatness. I usually use suchness, so I put both of them. Okay? So they expel the ocean of existence and clear away, because when you are all defilement or kleshas are clear away, then you have the wisdom eye that can see the suchness, the tattva or tekonani, which is the true nature they never saw before. So, for this reason, the son of the Buddha's compassion is specially excellent in terms of its function as well. So there is no way that the sun, S-U-N, sun, okay? The sun can exemplify the Buddha's activity in ultimate. Even we use that just to communicate with the people, because we need something to communicate with people. So we just use sun as an example. But in reality, there's far away that sun can exemplify Buddha's compassionate activities.
That Togi Sangye Pejarwala some Dongme Dego Tupsul, Peme Doctor Shulsul, Nieparkawe, Tsungberte Madang, Sum Givone, that Pejaron. Tangbo Dongme Dego Tupsul. Ne Chidara Yishin Norbo ne Tokpa Mejang Chikcharatu, Joyul Neba Namgini, Samgun Sosor Tsokche Tarar, Tishin Sangye Yishin La, Tenne Samba Tade Nam, Nasok Chene Tejur Chang, Dene de la Nammi To Chesonde. Tape Chidarana, Yishingi Norbo Rimbo Cheni. Nge me dila ngobo didang didaba chimbar chao nyambe kunlongge nambar tokba mejang du chikchar do nyekhorge choyol na neshin solwan debe kebo jinye jegye ba de rang sose samba tate ba namgi ni namla ni se de bala se Go de bala go, do de bala do, men de bala men, nemel de bala nemel la soba, gangdang chi de be samba maluba kun, sosorum ma de bar, yonso de bar chigiore, norborum bache. 용서버 제바 따를 된 대신도 조배 상제기 이신게 놀보림버 첼라 때네 장 리진 숨라서바 다 리진 숨 들죠 왕버랍딩 타마 숨라서바 메베 삼바 타데베 들죠 빡도 메바 남기 랑랑게 칼바당 템버 다 왕버랍라 체 왕버딩라 딩 타마라 되네 대바 총알라서바 랑랑다 템버 태과 숨라서바 나촉비 최님 대바르 주르신 대다게 된 남용소 족바르 제나양 영소 족바 제기 요래 예나양 상제 디 최dembe 갑 델라 디템버 저 냠비 다 둘자디 왕보 멤버리도 콜라 최 디템 거도 둘자디 왕보 러브레도 콜라 최 된 거기도 삼백이 넘어 똑바 여러분은 요 말에 선상님这삼바 중세장 넘버 미도바니도 더 전전에게 넘버 도바 되네 중세장 요 말에 이나요 둘자소서 감왕 왕보 매바당 준비 최라 최강라 강들도 되기 요래 선상
The sixth, the secret aspect of mind also has three subdivisions, which are the way manifold wishes are accomplished without conceptual thought or without any ideation. And second is the way there is continuous manifestation without deliberate effort or effortless. Tibetan, if you want to know, tukpa thokye sangwe peja wala sum, tokme doku dupsul, peme tak du shusul, and the last one is nyepar tsungpartemba ho, presentation of similarity in terms of being difficult to find. First one, the root text by Maitreya Buddha said, the first one, which is the way manifold wishes are accomplished without ideation or conceptual thought. The root text says, a wish fulfilling gem or jewels, whatever you use. If you want to know Tibetan, Ugyen ki nurbu, and Sanskrit is Chindamani. So in English, some people say wish fulfilling gem or wish fulfilling jewels. They mean the same. Okay. So this is example. So actually, you have to know how it works. The example itself, actually, Anyway, let me read the root text first. The wish fulfilling gem or Chintamani, though free from thoughts, grants all those who dwell in its field of activity each of their desires simultaneously, doing so in the most perfect manner. That is example. Now the meaning is, likewise, beings of different ways of thinking, when they rely on the wish-fulfilling Buddha, will hear various kinds of teachings, though he, which this pronounced the he here means the Buddha, the wish-fulfilling Buddha, generates no ideas of this. This is one translation. Let me read another translation, so it might give you some more idea. Another translation of the same root word says, a wish-fulfilling gem, though thought-free, fulfills simultaneously all the wishes of those within its sphere of activity. Likewise, Though those of varying aspiration hear various teachings when rely on the wish-fulfilling Buddha, he does not so conceive. Okay. Now the commentary says, a precious wish-fulfilling gem or Chittamani is totally free from intention in terms of thinking. I will give something to this person. And yet, when beings with different thought in mind dwell in different vicinity or surrounding of its field of activity and pray or supplicate to it, the Chintamani, grants all their wishes simultaneously and without any exception, It fulfills each and every one of their desire who supplicate to it. Whatever they may be, whatever they are supplicating for, or what they are praying for, such as nourishment or just food, in Tibetan it says se. So se is actually food, or food, and clothing, and grain, and medicine, and accommodation, or a place of living. In Tibetan we say ne. Ne is accommodation in this case. And so on, Rasokwa. Not getting mixed up and doing so in the most perfect manner. This is what a Chintamani does when you supplicate to it. Okay, this is an example. Chintamani is again the name of the wish-fulfilling jewel. And when you pray to it, and this is what it does. And this is example. Now the meaning, the Buddha. Likewise. Let me correct my pronunciation. Likewise. The immeasurable numbers of disciples who, being endowed with the three kinds of disposition and so on. So here, the three kinds of disposition means the individual with superior faculty or capacity, and the individual with medium capacity or faculty. In Tibetan is a Wangpo Ding. So usually Wangpo is started as a faculty, like Miki Wangpo is, So, and then the inferior, right? Individual with inferior faculty. This is what it means, the three kinds of disposition, and so on. So have different thought and aspiration, will also hear various teaching when they rely on precious wish-fulfilling gem, that is a perfect Buddha. So even Buddha doesn't have any conceptual thought saying that I'm going to teach this one to this particular person and this one to this particular person, but according to their own capacity, ability, they hear in their this way. They will hear the teachings of three vehicles or Triyanas, or Thekpa Sum, Triyana, and so on. They hear them corresponding to their individual karmic functions. So if you have a karmic function of karmic connection of being the superior, doing an individual with superior capacity or faculty, you will hear the Mahayana teaching, or Bodhisattva teaching, let's say. And if you have the karmic connection of being an individual with the medium capacity or medium faculty, then you will hear the teaching of Pratyeka Buddha. And if you have a karmic connection of being an individual with the inferior faculty or inferior capacity, then you will hear the teaching of the Sharvakayana and so forth. Though he fulfills, the Buddha, he fulfills the benefit of all these disciples completely and in the most perfect manner. Buddha is totally free from ideation or conceptual thought. Usually we say conceptual thought, tokpa in Tibetan. But this one of translation is ideation. So I think it means same, right? Ideation is also thinking in the mind, right? Okay, so I'm just trying to be more used to this word, new word. Okay, I'm also learning, but I'm learning for you because because if my English is better, then I can be a better translator. That means you can get the better teaching from Khenpo. So I'm working hard. Ideation, totally free from ideation, which is my usual word is conceptual thought. While giving these teachings, there is not the slightest intention in terms of thinking. I will give this particular instruction to this disciple. Okay, so we stop here today. We will do the Sajja Nedrolma, the practice. It is now 8:51. We will do Sajja Nedrolma with 3 malas of money or mane pemehung. Then we will do the dedication. Oh, my Namka Danyambe Simjen Tamje Lama Sangye Rimbo Chalai Jabzon Chawo Sangye Shudan Gendo Namlai Jabzon Chawo Lama Yedam Khandro Sumlai Jabzon Chawo Ransam Donsai Shige Gulai Jabzon Chawo Maya Namka Danyambe Simjen Tamje Lama Sangye Rimbo Chalai Jabzon Sangye Chudan Genden Namlai Gyabzon Chawa Lama Yedam Khandro Solai Gyabzon Rangsem Donsai Shige Golai Gyabzon Chawa Maya Namkwa Danyan Besem Yentam Lama Sangye Rimbo Chalai Gyabzon Chawa Sangye Chudan Genden Namlai Gyabzon Chawa Lama Yedam Khandro Solai Gyabzon Chawa Rangse Donsai Shige Golai Gyabzon Chawa Man Be Mo 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 O Man Be Mo 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 Man O Man Be Mo 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 Man